Welcome to John's Tarot. All right, now that I hope you're all doing great and having a wonderful day and meeting life's obstacles full on with your eyes wide open. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about something. My startup program is a little different. I'm going to talk about something a little different, as my startup page is a little different. I'm going to talk about how how can I say this? I was looking at how I present, what I do with tarot, how I present the tarot. And I notice I'm doing things a lot different. I often talked about Wu Wei before, when the answer sometimes emerges if you allow it and give it some time. And I had a Wu Wei experience. It's a Taoist experience where I understood kind of what was happening in terms of what I'm preparing. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to explain it rather than read my prepared presentation. When I do a tarot reading, I'm doing something different than most of the tarot readers are doing on the outside. For one thing, you'll see that my picture, my face, is over to the side. Most people, when they do these tarot readings, the YouTube tarot readers, their picture is center because their personality is center. That is what you're looking at. They have natural personality, natural charisma. And I'm thinking of the Guiding Light Tarot. That woman has charisma. But she has more charisma than tarot reading ability. And that's why people really like her. She's got wonderful charisma, wonderful personality. And I shouldn't say that. She might get mad at me. But my picture is off to the side. Why it's off to the side is because I'm not center here. I am a guide. I am a reader. I am an interpreter. What is happening here in the field, this symbolic field, a symbolic container. And meaning is going to emerge out of this field. And that is my role. I'm not the center. I'm just an interpreter of the field. As we look at this, the field is a square field. I'm calling it a symbolic container. On the outside, you see Celtic knots. Celtic knots are kind of a fractal representation of how life works. They're endless. They have no beginning, they have no end, and they repeat. That's why they're called fractal. And I have more Celtic knots here and here. And this is a symbolic, now I've created a symbolic container where meaning can emerge from. I also have the Kabbalistic and geometric sign right here in the center, which kind of draws your attention and focuses you inward. So what we're doing here, and is the important thing here is not me. It's not even the cards, but it's the meaning. We're drawing meaning out of the symbolic container, out of the symbolism, out of this format that I use. So it's a little different than what most people do. Let's go ahead and give it a try. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it'd be worth it to go and take a look at it on my YouTube page or on my homepage just to see what the symbolic container looks like. And out of the symbolic container, I'll throw some cards. And the magic of it is the fractal imagery, the Celtic knots, the Kabbalistic and geometric center, and I'll throw cards which have imagery, but the magic of it is that meaning emerges from this field. And that's the magic of this, what I'm doing, of what I'm showing you, what I'm sharing with you. So I'm going to just do 3 cards, and I'm going to ask the tarot, just like Carl Jung did when he did the introduction to in the Wilhelm version of the I Ching. What does the tarot think of my symbolic imagery that I use to extract meaning? What does the tarot think of my symbolic imagery that I use to extract meaning? And this is part of my what I've been doing all week as far as why does tarot work? the tarot works specifically well for me because I have this container. I have this for symbolic imagery to emerge from out of the universe. It's part of this reason why it works really well for me. And I use the same cloth every day when I consult the tarot. Why? How? What does the tarot think of the symbolic imagery I'm using in order to extract meaning? That's my question. And that, when Carl Jung confronted the I Ching, he asked the I Ching as if it was a living being. And I'm doing the same thing right now with the tarot. What does the tarot think about my container, my symbolic container to extract information from the universe using synchronicity, using archetypes, and cause and effect, all on this all within this symbolic container that has the, and all the fractal imagery of how life goes. When you do tarot and you do life in general, it happens in cycles. And that's another thing that the Celtic knots represent. We take on a new task, we work through the problems that is the threshold of will I take on the new question? Will I take on the new quest? The threshold. And then the integration is the map. The map will teach me what do I need to know in order to accomplish my goal. And then the integration, once I have the information from the map, I integrate. And then after I integrate and I do what I've learned, I start over again. And it just repeats. And then you'll see that repeating pattern throughout. You will see that repeating pattern actually throughout all my podcasts and throughout all my my tarot readings and all my programs. You'll see threshold map integration. What does a tarot think about my symbolic container for extracting information from the universe? Because when we do cause and effect, we are directly engaged with the universe because we're all connected. I am connected to each other human being on this planet. I'm connected to the planet. The planet is connected to the solar system. The solar system is connected to the galaxy. The galaxy is connected to the universe. And there's a universal intelligence. And I'm connected to all of that. And so are you. And that's how cause and effect is sometimes used to extract information from the universe. So what does the tarot think about my method for extracting information? I'll cut the deck. Tarot thinks, the tarot's very happy with it. I get the Queen of Wands. You see, the Queen of Wands is the best kind of leader. The best kind of, she's in charge. She's aware. She will lead you to success. And she sometimes uses occult methods. You see the black cat right there. That indicates the occult. The occult does not mean magic. The occult just means unknown. When I run into, I'll do blood tests, I'm looking for, in the hospital, OB stool, occult blood in the stool, right? And then we run a test. Occult means hidden. So as far as what we're doing here, there's a hidden matter that we will not be able to perceive. But the Queen of Wands is indicating this is a very powerful, very dynamic, motivating way of doing things. The tarot very much approves of what I'm doing. And then the Three of Wands. In the Three of Wands, you see a guy holding on the wands, and he's looking out at the ocean. He's often talk about waiting for his ship to come in. So you form a question, you form an idea, and you try to put that into, I've put that into motion. I put that into effect. And I have to remember that there are other things involved in this process. I talked about in my last podcast how I'm using a synchronicity, how I'm using archetypal images, universal archetypes. I'm using cause and effect. All three of those things. You see, he has three wands, and there's me holding on to one of the wands. That is what I'm doing when I'm using this type of setup and this kind of symbolic field, making meaning emerge. That's a pretty good answer. And then the final card is a 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles. This is something in regards to my method, in regards to my symbolic field. I'm going one step at a time. It's I didn't create this all at once. This was created over a long period of time of trial and error. I really didn't sit down and think, try and logically figure this out. It just kind of emerged out of repetition and out of a repeated exposure to symbolic systems. The thing emerged, and it was one step at a time. It wasn't just one big, oh, I have a genius idea. That's not the way it emerged. It emerged very symbolically, one step at a time. And that's how you kind of accomplish big things anyway, is one step at a time rather than trying to win the lottery all at once. So we're going to go ahead and see about wrapping this up for today. And, I'm the type of guy who...
You are talking to a man who has laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe.
That is me. And I hope you join me next time on another tarot journey with John's Tarot. Be careful, be cool, be kind. Remember, have courage, find faith, and I'll see you all again next time.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot!
Bye-bye, all.